I need your feedbacks. Preferably if you can actually unmute and speak, but if you want to use the chats, it's fine. But I would like us to be as interactive as possible. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello? You guys are not saying anything.
Can
Hear
you
Okay.
you. You guys,
All right, thank you. So I was asking that how was last week? I need you guys' feedback.
I was only able to attend one class and it was actually mind opening. It was the
Okay.
Friday class. It was
Okay. How was it?
funny. I learned, although that was part of the assignment, but there were some other new things I did that I hadn't during the class that was not part of what we
Okay, so I was struggling to hear you, but I don't know who is the culprit, whether it's your network or mine. Um, okay. Well, I hope you guys can hear me clearly. All right, but so let's start. So we hope you've enjoyed your first week. One down, eight to go, seven. So today, Israel informed me that we have covered the introduction to cargo. Sorry, the introduction to programming on cargo. So today we'll look at loops. And today, depending on how fast we move, we might actually have some interesting exercises for us. But depending on how fast we move. Okay, so before I start, who did the assignments? Can I see assignments on arithmetic? If you did the assignment, just signify, you raise your hand or react. The assignments on cargo, that is. All right, Fuad, Blessing, David, Olamide. All right. Do you guys have any questions regarding the assignments? Was one difficult? Do you understand the logic of one? Shoot. I'm talking about my own assignment, so not the one Israel gave you. The one on cargo. But I think it's the same thing. I think he just added a few um more to it. All right, so let me share my screen so it'll be more specific. Mm, should we do that? Okay. So can you see my screen?
yes,
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Something went wrong. Page has crashed. It will not crash in Jesus' name. All right. So last week we looked at arithmetic and variables. Come on, let me quickly spin up Colab. I said we'll be using Google Colab. I spelled Google wrongly, but it should still come up. Collab.research.google.com. So last week was class one. Last week we looked at simple arithmetic and variables in Python. I think Israel took it a bit further, and I think it touched a bit on functions. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, it did.
All right. Give me a sec. Intro to programming. That will start with loops. Okay, so you can see this. Where did Israel take data types into guide?
Yes, we did.
Okay, did you
Yes,
also
we
do
did.
conditional statements?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Some
and you did it.
con-
Okay, and you also did intro to list.
yes.
Okay, all right. So as a quick revision over all these five, let's quickly look at the exercises. I think all of you, let me not say all of you, majority of you signified that you did the exercises, right? I mean on cargo. So before I had a very, very dubious plan to catch you guys unaware that I will call someone randomly. You share your screen and we'll see your exercise. Well, maybe we'll do that next week. I'm feeling generous. So I think this is too simple. But let's just look at it together for the sake of to fulfill our righteousness. Question one is regarding the print statement. So if you okay, this in Kaggle exercises, this is for future reference. In Kaggle exercises, the first thing you do, run this cell. This cell has some dependencies that are needed for the next cell to run. Remember last week in our definition of Python, Python is interpreted. It's an interpreted programming language. So it runs in sequential fashion, line by line. If you run this cell, without if you run cell 2, you can see the cell number here. If you run cell 2 without running cell 1, you will get an error. So now that I ran this, what I did, i didn't press I didn't press this. I just clicked shift enter, or you can press this, but I'm already very used to shift enter. So when you run this, you see setup complete. Then the first assignment is to print hello world, which I've already done for you. So and they have, if you see hello world, your setup is working well. So the next thing to do is to change this. What did they say you should change it to? Good morning and I'm learning how to code. It's very simple. You just do good morning. Um Copy this. I'm learning how to code. So you see that is returned, the output is returned in your terminal. And the question one is simple arithmetic. They said, okay, the pound sign is used as a comment, like we've discussed in our last class. Then removing that pound sign means you are uncommenting. Now, if you put this comment, this pound sign, your that comment will be ignored by the interpreter. But if you remove that pound sign, the interpreter would run it. It will analyze what you have written. Okay, they said uncomment to get the int. So this is what we're uncommenting, not this. Is this. So you just remove the pound sign. Then let's see what they say. Once you have printed the ints and the solution, so let's uncomment the solution. All right. So now question four. Question four now is dealing with arithmetics. With arithmetics. I apologize for the background noise. So now, yeah, remember the terms of variables and values. Variables and values. Here, the value 4 is assigned to the variable num years, which is number of years. Then you have days of the year, you have hours per day, you have minutes per hour, and seconds per minute. So now they are saying calculate the number of seconds in 4 years. So they defined a variable total sex, which is equal to sex per minute, the minutes per hour, hours per day, days per year times 4. And this is quite, they have already done it for you. So they are um, um, 126,144,000 seconds in 4 years. Okay. So now using that same premise which I've given us above, they said we should use the next code cell to define a variable birth per minute, set it to 250. So because there are average of 250 babies born each minute, then we have birth per day and set the value of birth per day variable. Define a variable that contains the average number of babies born each day. All right. If 250 are born per minute, how many do you think are born per day? Remember, they have given us these variables already. So per minute, we have how many? 250 that are born. So it multiplies by what? 60 times 60, then times 24 to get the amount born per day. So let me just quickly do something. This is so that I won't have to be scrolling up. I'll see the variables here and their variable names. So I just, okay, so what I did here so that it won't look like magic, I clicked on control and is this backslash? Let me type it here. Is this backslash or forward slash? I don't know why this forward slash. Okay, so I clicked on control and forward slash and that commented everything. I highlighted everything and clicked on control and forward slash. That is commenting and uncommenting it at the same time. All right, so births per day will be what? If 250 are, it will be births per minute, which we have already defined. Remember, the multiplication operator in Python is this asterisk symbol. Then it will be times what? Hours per day. No, we have to convert the minutes to hours. So 250 times 6 per minute times 250 are born every minute. And there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So sorry about this. Times minutes per hour times hours per day. All right, so what did I do wrong? Best per minute is not defined.
Huh?
All right, it's best per min, not minutes. Okay, so one good thing, let me address this going forward. Now, Python is intuitive and you will get errors. I don't think we talked about errors. I'll make sure to talk about that in next class. There are three main types of errors in Python. There's a syntax error, there's a logic error, and there's runtime error. What I got here now is a syntax error. It's easy to debug, and the interpreter tells you what you did wrong. Say bet per minute is not defined, and rightly so, because what I have here is bet per min, not minutes. So that's why I changed here. So now if I run this, yeah, what is not defined again? Bet per min. All right, so you see that there's S here. So I would add that. Another error. Mean per hour is not defined. S here too. So when I finish, you see correct. So now if you want to check what the value is, remember I use the print statement to return the output. So if I do bets per day, so there are how many born in there? 360,000 babies born per day. All right. This is just a quick refresher to juggle up your memory before we go to the next cell. But because of time, wait, you guys said that you've done this right. You guys did the assignment, so you have done all of this. Hmm? Please, I need responses, please.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
this is not foreign. All right, so let's go to today's exercise. I just did that in case there are new people joining in today and maybe a bit lost, just to help you understand the Python flow a bit. All right, so since he has covered all of this, next will be all right. There's did he do booleans? Do you know what booleans are?
No.
No.
Hmm. All right, so let's do this. So what we did is all we just finished doing, or what me and Israel covered last week, which we have done a brief revision on, is introduction to programming. Now this one is more, and we were doing it in Python. Now this is more specific to Python. Hello Python. So I'm not going to cover this because I've done majority of all of this. So and you said he did functions in our last class, in the last class on Friday. So let me quickly touch on this. I was meant to start with loops today, but let me quickly touch on booleans and conditionals. Booleans and conditionals. All right. So Python has, I believe Israel touched on data types last class. So there are integers, int, there are floats, float, which other data types there? There's strings, str. So there's a type of variable called bool, and it has two possible values, true or false. So when you hear booleans, the first thing that should come to your mind is true or false. So now see the example they gave. X is assigned true. When you print X, now you use this type function to determine the data type of a variable. You use this type, is an inbuilt function in Python. Type. All right, let's see. Can run for president. Okay, so now this is an example of booleans used with conditionals. Okay, see comparison operators. You have looked at, have we done comparison? We just looked at basic mathematical operators. Okay, remember I told you that this equal to in Python is not equal to is assignment operator. But if there are two equal to signs, that is when you have the that is when it's equal to in Python. But if it's just one, is the assignment operator. Then this is the same thing. This is less than or equal to. This is not equal to, and this is greater than, and this is greater than or equal to. So before I go on, please feel free to interject me anywhere you feel lost or if you have any question. Okay. So now what we are doing here, since you guys said Israel touched on functions last week, when you want to use a function, the first thing you do is what? When you want to build a function, what is the first thing you write?
df.
Yes, def. We are defining the function. So now we define this function can run for president, and the parameter is what? What is the parameter of this function? Can run for president. The parameter is age. The parameter is this thing inside these curly brackets. Remember, these curly brackets are called parentheses in Python. All right. So now return age greater than or equal to 35. Right. So what this is saying, this function, what it does is that what this function does, it checks if the age is greater than or equals to 35. So if the age is greater than or equals to 35, it returns true, which is saying yes, he can run for president. But if it's less than 35, it says false, can't run. So now you are giving two examples. Can a 19-year-old run for president? Then they pass 19 to the function and it returns false. Can a 45-year-old run for president? They pass 45 to the function and it returns what? True. So basically, this parameter, just substitute it here. 19 greater than or equals to 35. False. 45 greater than or equals to 35. True. And this is very beautiful. Comparisons frequently work like you hope. Just keep that at the back of your mind. This is what kind of data type is this?
So
Yes, this is a float and this is an
Float.
integer. So 3.0 is 3.0 equal to 3? Yes. But sometimes it can be tricky, so don't fall for it. Now, what kind of data type is this? In quotes, in single quotes.
String. A string.
is it a
String.
string?
Yes. Yes, it's a string. This is a string. Now, a string is not equal to an integer. That is why it's false. So what you are saying here is comparisons frequently work like you hope to, like they seem, but be careful because sometimes they can be tricky. Yeah, this is a float and this is an integer. They are both numeric data types. But here, this is a string and an integer. They are not both numeric. So that's why it returns what? False. Now, comparison operators are often combined with arithmetic to perform a lot of mathematical tests. So, for example, this is another example here. We can check if a function. Have I introduced you guys to this operator, this modulo operator, this percent sign?
Oh, I
Or
don't
as
think so.
No,
No.
no.
all right, so what this modulo operator does is that it's the same principle as modulo. Who remembers modulo in secondary school? 5 divided by no 5 modulo 4 is 1 remainder 1. It returns the remainder. That is what it does. It returns the remainder of that division operation. So now n modulo 2. By checking if the number is odd, right? If n modulo 2 equals to 1, the number is odd. If not, it's true. All right. So the first one, 100 divided by 2. Sorry, 100 modulo 2 is what? 50 remainder 0. So it's false. The remainder is what? 0. Just to reiterate, this modulo operator returns, or the remainder operator returns the remainder of a division operation. That's what it does. So 100 divided by 2 is what? 50 remainder 0. So it is not odd. It returns false. Now minus 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Minus 0.5. Why is it true? This is just equal to. Alright, let's keep this example. This one is minus 1 modulo 2. Let's ignore this example, but this one is valid. So if I use 3 modulo 2 will give me what? 1. So that is true. 3 is an odd number, but 100 is not. That is basically what this thing is trying to say. So now, this is our previous function. Can the person run for president? But we have introduced a little bit more complexity. It's still not complex, it's still very basic. So here, we are combining Boolean values. So can a person run for president? But now it has two arguments. Yeah, it has two arguments. It has age and is natural born citizen. Before we were just checking based on age. Now we're checking based on two arguments. The age and is the person a natural born citizen. So now the US Constitution says you must be a natural born citizen and at least 35 years old. So what it does is that return is natural born citizen and age equals to 35. So did Israel tell you what this means in the last class? This three quotes, this string inside these three quotes signs. They tell you what they mean.
No.
Okay, they are a doc string. I call it doc string. Now a doc string lets you know what that function does. So how you know a doc string is that they are enclosed by these three quotation marks. This 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They are enclosed by three quotation marks. So this function is a function to determine if someone is eligible to be president given the age and citizenship status. That's what this function does. And now we know what a comment is. A comment is
Really, I
used
couldn't
to,
hear you in the last part.
what do you say?
I could not hear what you said when you were defining the meaning of a doc string.
Okay, so I said a doc string is enclosed in three quotation marks, and it is what it simply does is tell you what that function does. A doc string, it tells you what that function does. So ideally, it's very good code practice to have a doc string for all your functions so people can know what that function does. Imagine if I see a function that is, let's say, XLB. XLB can be doing so many things. But if a doc string was included under, you would know what that function does. So that is the purpose of a doc string. It lets you know what is the purpose of a function. Now, this function now is helping you to check the eligibility for someone to run for a presidential post in US based on their age and citizenship status. Now, these two things inside these parentheses are known as arguments. They are positional and they are keyword arguments. Did Israel talk about that in the last class? Positional and keyword arguments.
No.
Was going to, but it didn't.
Okay, so maybe in our next class I'll talk about that because it is something that is seemingly little but might actually cause you to have errors if you don't understand their, what is the word? Operational precedence. Which one has superiority over the other? So maybe I'll cook up some few examples and we'll quickly look at that in our next class. All right, so yeah, both of these are known as positional arguments. These are positional arguments. Keyword arguments have the assignment operator after them and a value inside. So now, can we are testing our function, can run for president if 19, and this true is saying if the person is a natural born citizen. Now, this doc string is not even complete. In most doc strings or in most professional doc strings, they tell you what the argument does. So, let me copy this and let me show you in Colab. Yeah, hope you can still see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, we can see us.
All right. So now you see arguments. You would have age. If I remember clearly, you see something like this: age integer, age of the candidates. See something like this. Then you would have is is natural born citizen. So something like boo. Can I italize here? I don't think so. You see boo, then you see something like true or false, indicating citizenship status. You please forgive my spelling. Citizenship status. All right, so this is basically how it will run. So when you first run, I'm running this code cell now in Colab. Your first cell will always take a while because it's connecting to a cloud hosted server. So it's connected now. All right, so you can see that this is everything here from here to here. Yes, from here to here is your doc string. Is your doc string. It tells you what this function does and tells you, it gives you an idea of the argument. So now you can see that in Colab, you can see that it is explained here. This is the doc string. This is the doc string. Age, int, age of the candidates is natural born citizen, boolean, true or false indicating. So this is the doc string that is pinned up here. So let me see if I can even, let me see, learn. Which doc string can I use? Type. So now, anytime you use one, these are inbuilt docs, these are inbuilt functions though. But you can see that this is a doc string, but it won't show here because you have used it before. It's like me now writing can run for president. Doc string will still show. See, so this is a doc string. It tells you what this function does. All right, so yeah, let's look at more. Now, okay, yeah, this is a quick guess, and I want everybody's participate in this. Can you guess what is the value of this expression? True or true and false? What do you think it will return? Everybody on this chat must tell me the answer. Use the chat. True or true and false? What do you think is return? I'm on the chat. I'm waiting for your
One.
responses. One. Okay. Blessing said one. False. Okay. True. Okay. Five more responses at least. So I have 12 on the call. Okay, 11 excluding me. So I have three more responses. I need three more at least. Don't let me start calling your names.
True.
True. Who else? Who else? False. One or true. All right, that's who is. The answer is true. But why is it true? Why is it true? Hey, I'm already showing you expo. Who wants to try? Why is it true? Don't be shy. We're all learners here. We're all learning. But it's
Can
good
I
to
check?
see. Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, so I think for all the
Okay.
both sides have to be true for the output to be true. Then for the and operator, at least one of them has to be true for the output to be true.
Okay. So let me just give you. Thank you for trying. So there's something called operator precedence, which so if you have something like if you have a mathematical expression that contains plus, minus, division, and friends, depending on if there's no parentheses or brackets to coordinate the order of execution, they will execute based on PEMDAS, right? Because of operator precedence. So now the same thing happens with comparison operators. The comparison operators we have are and, or, and not. Not is not here in this. And, or, and not. Now, when you have a comparison, when you have an operation that's or an expression that has or and has greater precedence than or. So what is evaluated first is true and false. Before then the value of this is now evaluated against true or. So yeah, that's what they are saying here. This is the expo. You need to figure out the order of operations and is evaluated before or. So that is why the first expression above is true. Let me, and again, in true, if you type value of true, print true, this should return one. No. How do I get one again? Um, print true plus false. Yeah, because true is one and false is zero. It's basically like your normal binary. This also return. This will give you zero because this is one minus one. You know, Python computers they speak in binary language, on and off, one and zero. So true has the value of one and false has the value of zero. So yeah, congrats to all of you that said true. But just know that in the order of operations, and will be executed first before or. Alright, so now let's look at this. Prepared for weather. Have umbrella or rain level less than 5 and have hood or not rain level greater than 0 and is workday. So let's see what else. They're saying that they're trying to say if I have an umbrella or the rain level isn't too heavy, that means it's less than 5, and I have a hoodie. Otherwise, I'm still fine unless it is raining and it is workday. But this is very intuitive and it's hard to read. Yeah, but now the brackets give us some order of control. It introduces a bit of granularity in our code because we now have more control in what we're writing. So here we have we can see that this will be executed and this will be executed before they will be compared against each other. So is rain level greater than 0 and is workday? I won't know because I don't know the value of rain level that's been specified. But this is what they are trying to illustrate here is the readability. This is far easier to read than this. We'll be able to understand the sequence of operations, the order of operations here than there. And they are saying you can even add more parentheses if you think it will improve readability, which they did here. They added even more parentheses. So this not will act on this. And what does not do? The not operator inverts. So if this is equal to true, not true is what? False. and same for vice versa. If this is equals to false, not false is what? True. So the not is a negating operator. It just changes in general, in essence, a shapeshifter. Just changes this guy from this to this. That's exactly what it does. All right. And you can also split. So if when we delve into machine learning proper, you will see that a lot of documentation, PyTorch, things they like writing code, or maybe if you follow some code tutorials on GitHub, see that they like writing code like this. They put it in multiple lines, just so it has a cleaner look and sort of looks more structured. So yeah, those are booleans in essence. Booleans are basically true or false when you see them. You have the booleans, we have the comparison operators, and we have conditionals. Now let's go to conditionals. The booleans are what? True and false. The comparison operators are and, or, and not. Then we have the conditionals. And now we see that booleans are most useful when combined with conditional statements using the keywords if, elif, and else. So it's essential to know that elif is simply else if. I think Israel treated conditionals last week. Did he? Did Israel treat conditionals last week? Yeah, okay, yes. Okay. So that means I don't need to talk too much on it. So let's quickly look at what this thing is saying. So just before we go on, just to draw an analogy, everything in life is based on a condition. You are in Unilag because you passed JAMP and you passed with CCME. If candidate passes JAM, if candidate greater than 20 equals to true and greater than 16 equals to accept, you are in Unilag based on a condition. If Chelsea are good at football, prints error, Yasha in Unilag because everything in life is a condition. Something will happen based on a previous condition. If you wake up by 6, print you will get to office by 8. So just build the analogy. It's the same thing with Python. Yeah, they are inspecting x. If x equals to 0, x is 0. If x is greater than 0, x is positive. Else if this is else if x is less than 0, x is negative. Else print x is unlike anything I've ever seen. That's creative. All right, so when you now inspect 0, x is 0, x 15. So now, what do you think will give you something like this? Let's say you put x and x is you put 7. Let's let's have fun with this. So, right now, if I put inspect x, x is not defined. Okay, let me put it in a string. Not supported. Well, your input has to be an integer. Um, that's where I table. So they want it to be an integer. That's why you're having a type error. Type error. It has to be an integer. So there's no way I will get that last else statement, but you shall get the drill. All right. So yeah. Okay, we've seen ints. Yeah, what I was trying to do was sorry. I think I can actually clear this. Print int. Yeah. So if you check true in integer form is 1. If I do this for false, 0. All right. Same thing. Remember, bool is a data type. So if I change this to bool 1, this should return true. Bool 0 will return false. And it's important to know that all strings are treated as true. So if I change this to a string, let's say lesson true. All right, so print bool 1, all numbers are treated as true except 0, 0. Empty string. Let's see, what would empty string return? False. So an empty string will return false, but a normal string will be true. All right, so that is basically it's about booleans and conditionals. Life, remember, everything in life is a condition. Every action present is as a result of previous conditions, things that have happened in the past. If Man U won yesterday, they will not be the object of shame. It's a condition, but they didn't win. The condition is to win. If Mbappe is not good, he will not be in Real Madrid. So that's I'm sorry I'm using football analogies. Trying to say general one. Okay. If I had $1 million, I will not be a broke man. So that is conditions basically. So yeah, let's quickly look at an exercise. As usual, you know the drill. This is going to be our assignment for the week. So when using cargo, I'll run some, then I'll leave the rest to you. And you know how we have been doing it since they gave it to us in prime. I'll do the easy ones and I'll give you the hard ones to go and do. If one is not too hard, yeah, I'll give you other ones on collab. But yeah, let's look at it. So remember the first thing first. You run this first code cell. This is so that you will complete the setup. The setup is downloading dependencies and everything you would need to run things below. So yeah, they are saying many programming languages have sign as an available built-in function, but Python doesn't. So we can define our own. So define sign, which takes a numerical argument and returns -1 if it's negative, 1 if it's positive, and 0 if it's positive. So the first thing I do is def sign. Okay. Then return if takes a numerical argument x. If x returns -1 if it's negative is less than 0, prints -1. Elif x is greater than 0, prints 1. Else x equals to 0. I need to go and run it. Prints 0. Expected is here now. Sorry about that. If else x equals to 0, prints got a value, return value. So you see that I didn't get it incorrect. Got a return value of none, given x equals to -1, but the expected value of int. If I you want me to be using return? Yeah, no. Return. Okay, so what I did was that I changed my return, I mean my print statements to return, and it's correct. So I don't advise this, but if you want to look at the solution, you run this and it will print it out for you. But only look at the solution if you have tried like 30 minutes and you didn't get it, then feel free to have a peek at the solution. I don't even know why it's not running. Alright, we've decided to add login to our smash function in the previous exercise. Return the number of leftover after distributing the number of candies to oh sorry. If you want to, let me know and show you people. Next class we'll treat it. Alright, so does anyone have any question? Let me check the charts. Does anyone have any question? If you don't have question, I have question for you. Alright. One question is between and or, which one will be executed first if they are used in the same expression without parentheses? And. Alright. So how does and work? Let me go. How does and work? Must I define a function? I want to show them quick example. Alright, what to be the output of this? What to be var? Will it be no. What will be the output of var? Based on just use the intuition of what we have done today. P is 23, X is 45. It will be a boolean. This is a boolean expression. If I've used a boolean comparison, I'm already giving the answer. But what will be the output of var? You guys, well done. I've given the answer. What will be the output now? Let me check the chart if anybody's in it.
True.
The answer true. Who said true first? D, have we met before? I don't think we were in the last class. But D, I'm going to give you an extra assignment. The answer is false. Wait, 23 is not greater than 25 now. This is what I say when collab used to whine me sometimes. P O.
But what about 45?
Now the reason why I said this is that normally when you use, I'm using and not or. P or X greater than 25. P and 20 greater than 25. P uncommon. See where I wrote it. Sorry, this is how I was meant to write it. So D, I've escaped. It was from my hand. Okay, so what this is telling us is that why is it false? This is true, but this is false. Now, how the AND operator, comparison operator works is that if one of the two conditions is false, it returns false. You understand? So it's like if I say, let me at the top, let me say where equals to P greater than 25 or X greater than 25. So now what will pair return? PER. Let me check the chart. What will, what would PER return?
True.
Did you say true?
Yes.
This
False.
pair. If you are for true, say hi.
False. I'm for false.
Yeah, for false. All right. So the answer is true. And all right, let me change the so that this won't be confusing. Pair then. Pair is true. Y is false. Now the way all works, let me do this analogy. If I send you to, if you have three siblings, let me say two siblings, and your mother is calling one of them. Let's say the two siblings are Pelumi and which name starts with B? Pelumi and Damilola, basically. Your mommy now comes and tells you have three siblings. Now tells your elder sibling, go and call Pelumi or Damilola. That means if you see that one of them, bring them. You don't necessarily have to bring the two. So once one of the conditions satisfies the so once one expression satisfies the condition, you are good to go. True. Bring me Pelumi or Damilola. But now, and is bring me Pelumi and Damilola. You must bring both of them unless you have not satisfied that condition. Do you get the analogy? So the way all works, once one is correct, it will return true. But if both of them are not correct, let's say I change this to 60, it will return false. You guys understand?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. This is last on test to trees for today. So yeah, so the assignment is to solve this on cargo, the exercise on booleans and conditions. And if you have any question, ask it in the group. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed the class and you learned something today. Thank you guys. See you next
Thank
week.
you.
Welcome.